never done before. And the reason why we're doing it is because these lovely women that are with me today have built something very unique during the last 2 years. I'm not going to use the P word. I'm just going to say the last 2 years, and have really dove into virtual fitness and developing a virtual fitness community, which, you know, people might not think that is possible when you're doing things from the comfort of your home, being able to develop friendships and, you know, a sense of support and, you know, having someone, you know, have your back in the fitness world when you're not actually in person. So the first question I'm just going to ask, and maybe I'll kind of direct who I want to answer first, so we know who to unmute or who wants to unmute. But why did you start doing virtual fitness in the first place? And Ashlee, you're at the top of my screen, so I'll start with you.
So for me, the first part of the last 2 years was kind of a whirlwind, and I felt like I had kind of lost myself in trying to manage home and manage working from home and having my children home, and started to realize I didn't feel very healthy anymore. And I have 2 young kids who I really want to set a good example for, but really be present for. So a friend of mine started a running club, and that kind of got me back into fitness. It was something I had really been into when I was younger, but after having kids had let go. When the weather got colder, it was harder for me to get out for runs, and I had a girlfriend who belonged to the studio virtual program, and then she invited me to join a class, and immediately I fell in love with just the energy of being around other people who loved what they were doing so much. And I think within the first week, I used up my 10 pass and started with the monthly virtual all access pass. So that's what got me into it. And then just like I said, the energy and meeting new people who also were kind of going through the same things I was and had similar interests to me has really kept me motivated. And I've been part of the studio now for just over a year. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashlee. How about you, Anna?
My students actually started or developed a fundraiser for a COVID-related recovery issue. And Kindra collaborated with my students, university students, during that time. And of course, immediately said yes as soon as they asked. They wanted to focus on something that was wellness related and mental health, promoted good mental health under COVID. So I just joined the first class to supervise, to make sure everyone was doing well and behaving. But then I also decided to dance, and I have this love for dancing and love for Latin music. So those coming together in Zumba at the first day. Pretty sure my neighbors heard me scream because I was dying after I danced for an hour. But then I was hooked, and I've been now with the studio for, I don't know, 15 months, 14 months, something like that. So, and I've loved it ever since. Yeah.
Awesome. A little bit of a different question, and Lana, I'm going to field this one to you because, you know, you guys are doing this from home, and, you know, you guys mentioned dancing, and we're doing Zumba, and we're doing it in our living rooms, in our kitchens, in our basements, in our places. So how have you find that experience of, and I think because that's sometimes people's hesitation, is doing this by yourself in different spaces in your home?
I do hear that from a lot of people, that the first step is finding a space. And obviously I'm just right here in the middle of my house, but that's a space. It's fine. Wherever you can be, if people are in their kitchen, I've seen people just in their bedrooms, you can do it anywhere, and it's great. And it's just about doing it. Once you do it a couple times and you have your zone, it's easy to go from there. And it's having the kids around and not having to find sitters or any other alternatives. There, you can do it anytime, and they can join in with you and have just much fun there.
Carmen, What about you? How have you know, your space is a little different now, but your space you're using for most of the time, how did you make the most of your virtual space when you were doing the classes?
I used an extra, a guest bedroom, and luckily the bedroom was hardwood, so I didn't have any carpet issues. But just any small space. I remember one time when my laptop wasn't working and I had to switch to my desktop, and the desktop's in the office, and the office space is not very big, it's all carpet. So I just pushed my chair out of the way, and with Zumba, you don't need a lot of space. Even with strong, you just need what you have, right? So you can do push-ups or you can do your squats in your space that you have. So you don't need a giant, massive space. As long as you have your little square, that's all you need.
And Vanessa, so you have been, with us since pretty much the beginning, and you consistently show up. So what is keeping you motivated to live in this virtual fitness world?
I actually love it more than, so I'm actually not from North Bay. So I would drive to classes, spend so much time, and I loved it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, being in person, but I found that this is the best thing for me. I save so much time. I have my little space. Everyone was talking about their space. I love my little workout space. Like it was mentioned, you don't need a lot of room. Sometimes my husband is even watching TV while I'm doing it. He's encouraging me. So I just love it. I look forward to it. I feel challenged. I love that sometimes I could do a workout before school starts and I just feel so energized, and it just really keeps me going. And initially I was just trying different stuff online, and I'll be honest, for me it was because the studio had the most strong classes, and those are the high intensity classes that I like. So I was just looking for a place that had that, and the deals and the different challenges going on, and that's really what kept me going. And then the community of these lovely people.
That's a good, perfect transition into, so, I asked you guys here today because you have developed this little community within yourselves, outside of us, really, right? And you motivate each other, and you have a whole, existence outside of the studio now because of the studio, which is awesome. So can someone talk a little bit about that and, how that came to be and what it means to you as you...
After every workout, I know I'm exhausted, especially with some of the new strong quadrants. So I would message, whether it be Lana or Anna, I'm saying, oh my gosh, I'm dying. Are you dying? Am I the only one? Or even after Zumba, I would say, oh, that's a good song. What song was that? Do you know that song? I need that song again. Or this song, I love that last song, but I don't know what it's called. So we would message each other. And it started when I was messaging each of them individually. And it'd be the same questions. So we thought, this is silly. Why am I messaging each, individually? So let's just create a group. So after, an intense strong workout, I would say, is anybody feeling that quadrant too, or is it just me? And then they would answer, it's like, oh yeah, that was easy. Like, oh, that was really challenging, but this part, I like this one, or I modified by doing this. And so, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So we share ideas in that little group, and I find it motivating as well, because a couple times I would register and then I'd be laying in bed thinking, I don't know. And then, Vanessa or Lana would be like, oh yeah, I'm getting up for that. Or Anna, I'm getting up for that. Are you getting up for that? It's like, okay, I will now, I guess. I'm registered and, I was called out, so I got to get up for that.
I was invited in, I think, a little bit later by Vanessa. And for me, I think being that I'm also not from North Bay, pretty far away actually. So I've never met any of you in person, but I started to see the same faces on my screen all the time, right? And I noticed like Vanessa's great workout clothes, or Carmen's power, because she's a powerhouse. But I didn't really get to, classes end and we all say goodbye and then we move on with our days. So for me, it just helps me feel a little bit more connected. I feel like I'm getting to know everybody at a distance. So someday when we are able to all get together, we're going to be meeting for the first time, but I feel like I already know everybody. Things we talk, we talk a lot about classes and fitness, but we share about our lives as well. And I feel like I can share when things are hard, and people motivate me through that, but then also motivate me to, keep going, get up, do your classes, work on you, focus on you. And everybody's just so nice and welcoming. And that motivates me to keep coming back too, because I feel welcome and I feel valued, right? So that's a huge part of it too. And the staff is the same way. It's not just the people, but the people running the classes, they make you feel like you're just as much a part of it online as you are if you're in studio. And I think that's really important.
If someone is on the fence about trying virtual fitness, what would you say to them? As well as the other part is any advice on how someone would go about making these connections and building some sort of community of their own within this realm?
I'll answer the second part, I think, because for me, it was that I moved to North Bay and didn't know anybody. And I was like, okay, who's my community under this pandemic? So, and then Carmen and Lana actually ended up meeting in person at different times, outdoors under the restrictions as well. And during outdoor Zumba, actually, Lana and I. But I think for me, it was the same thing, seeing people in people's faces, and I'm just like, I'll just say hi. Doesn't matter if they don't say hi initially, but and then we just sort of started chatting and saying hi and going from there. So don't be shy, say hi, just say hi, and you will see like people will respond, because I think people are all sort of looking for a similar thing. And definitely say hi to us, I think, because we are great. Even
to connect.
I think a couple.
So does anybody want to answer the question about if anybody's on the fence about trying virtual fitness in the first place because they don't think that they're going to get any of this? What would you say to them?
Well, you can always try classes, right? Because I know that that's one of the things that you guys offer is try a free class. And if you're shy, you can turn the camera off. They don't, we don't see you if you don't want us to see you. You don't have to talk, just log on. And there's a handful that do leave the cameras on, so you can see kind of our energy and how we are. Some movements, I'm not awesome at all of them, or I can't, sometimes when I can't do a full push-up, I might go on my knees, but no shame, I'll still leave my camera on. So I'm hoping that by leaving the camera on and by seeing us, they'll get a sense of all of our different fitness levels, and then feel that, regardless of their fitness level, they can be part of an online fitness community to either work their way up or try something new, try something different, or even have friends join in, because it is virtual. If you have a sibling, if you have your parents, if you have your kids, it's a good way to include family into fitness as well. It's only 45 minutes, especially with Zumba, the upbeat songs. Get them to come dance with you. The camera's off, nobody can see you, right? So, try it that way, and to see who you can also involve. So it's not just a you thing, it could be a family thing.
Mm-hmm. And we've had mothers and daughters that live in different places just log into the same class together, and they'll either both have their cameras on, or they'll they'll have their FaceTime going at the same time, right? Which is like, an interesting way to connect as well if you don't live in the same place. Vanessa?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that there's, with a lot of classes, there's an entry level for everyone, so you can modify. So there's base, there's different moves. And the thing is, the challenge I find for yourself. So something that you couldn't do. I was a person that couldn't do a push-up. I'm also not perfect. I find that that's my weakest thing, but I'm so impressed at what I can do now. I'm probably more fit now in my almost late 40s than I was a long time ago. So it's just try it. And wherever you're at, you'll see that even in a few weeks, if you keep at it, you'll just see that you'll progress if you give it a try. And if it's not for you, there's so many, like the variety of classes is fantastic. Like there's toning, there's Zumba, there's strength stuff. So there's something for everyone. And if you have friends or family, I find my husband is my cheerleader. Like he's like, go for it. He just sees how happy I am doing this. And he's like, the money you're actually saving. Because I know sometimes you can, I don't know, there might be stuff online for free, but this is the accountability piece and the friendship. And that wonderful instructors, and they all have something great. They all have their own energy and something special. So, yeah.
Vanessa, I love that point, the accountability and the friendship that you don't get from like an anonymous online platform. Ashlee and Lana, you both had your hand up. Ashlee, you can go first.
I was going to say, for me, live classes work. And live classes are what I crave because I like that community and that accountability. But there's also the option of on demand. So a lot of my friends say to me, well, I can't get up at 6:30 in the morning. Well, my weekends are really busy. Well, I have kids in the evening. And that's okay. But when you have the on demand option, you can literally do that anytime that works for you and anywhere that works for you. So if you travel a lot and you have a laptop with you or an iPad with you, if you're at the cottage, we see in the summertime people sign in from their backyards or all over the place. And it's great because it's catered to you and your schedule when it works for you. And you have the option of doing live or on demand or a combination of both. So again, it's the same thing that you were talking about, Vanessa. There's so many classes to choose from and so many ways that you can do it.
You have something that seems to stop people is the technology involved. And I know when we started, I started with you pretty early. I was with the studio before. There was a lot of learning curves. I had a lot of false starts where I just went, what is happening right now? And kind of walked away and go, no, I need this. Let's figure this out. And I think at this point, it's made pretty easy. And you guys as studio know so much about what to do and how to get us connected. If we have any questions, we can come to you. So I have no issues anymore at all. I find it works perfectly. I think all you guys have had the same.
And also, like I said, I've tried a bunch of places. The great thing about the studio is the app that they use. So instead of some places you're still sending like an e-transfer and things like that. This way it's just, you can find a different plan that works for you. It could be just on demand, it could be different passes. And I just find it so easy to set up and you just book your class, and even the app is fantastic. So that's a key thing to set. I just think it's amazing.
Anybody that we haven't talked about that wants to add as we kind of wrap this up? Is there anything anybody wants to say, Carmen?
So I did try online platforms before finding the studio because, like Vanessa said, there are free workout exercises. You can YouTube something out there, but I chose the studio because it's just a different feeling working out with people that are also working out at the same time as you, and you can chat about it after, or you can chat about it before, you can chat about it during, and you don't get that with YouTube videos, right? And it's too easy, I find, to just pause the YouTube video and just to go off and have a snack or something. Whereas live, you have to do it because the instructor is doing it right there with you. So that's why I stuck with the studio instead of just finding something online, or on YouTube. That's why I stuck with this. I love the live classes.
Okay, I was just gonna say, it's just nice to feel a part of something, especially when we're at a time right now where everything seems so secluded or so isolated. And that includes, like you said, you always throw out, the offer for requests. And when you make one and then you're in the class and your song gets played, or that's always exciting, right? And you're always like, yeah, that's me. And you just feel special and part of it. So it's nice.
The way it kind of came together, it all just happened naturally. And we know we're here for if anyone wants to join. We're not an exclusive group. We just don't really know who's out there and who wants to talk. But I think we're all open to if there's anyone feeling that they want to get in on some of these conversations we got going and get some extra motivation. Happy to have them.
And this is the group that's encouraging us to have another challenge in January. So stay tuned for that. If you're not watching this in January and you're watching it another time and you're like, hey, we haven't had a challenge in a while, just message us and we can create another one. Because those are always lots of fun as well. We all have a little competitive spirit in us and we need to keep getting pushed. So whether it's groups like this or, you need us to push you, we're always happy to do that as well. But thank you guys so much for taking the time to have this conversation. I'm really hoping that, people, that, are having any hesitations or are wondering what being a part of a fitness community online is about, really takes this to heart, because watching you guys has been so awesome for me because I know what's going on in the back. I mean, we're not part of it and I don't want to be because I just think it's such a beautiful thing going on to the side. And it makes me so happy that we could be just even a little part of bringing you guys together, and having that community. And for anybody else, like they said, who either wants to join their group chat or create their own, please do. It sometimes just takes a little, hey, I see you in classes, and you're like, what's your favorite class? What's your favorite song? It could be as simple as that, and just putting yourself out there. So everyone, thank you so much. Stay safe. Hopefully we are only just virtual for a couple of weeks, but that is the beauty of this as well, that, we can keep ourselves moving. So much of this is just as much for our mental health than our physical, as much as for our physical health. So keep your body moving, in whatever way you choose, in whatever way makes you happy. And maybe this is what you will find. We hope we can make your body happy. Okay, I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys so much.